Hi, thank you so much for joining in. So, I'm gonna move my Adwala bottle. I'm still learning how to do this YouTube video stuff. I'm just learning how to do this life thing. And the thing is we're all learners. And that's what Bruno Groening said this life was really about, is that this earth is a school. And so we're all learning. We're all learning little things like take a look at your image before you go live. So, um, here's a quote from Bruno Groening about the power of our thoughts. It is through oneself that man is either built up or destroyed. In the armory of his thoughts, he is forging the weapons which add to his own downfall. In the very same way, he is creating the tools to build heavenly homes of joy, power, and peace for himself, because planning with God's power means thinking well. Okay, so it's through ourselves and specifically through our thoughts that we destroy ourselves or we build bridges, build heavenly homes of peace and joy. Now, first of all, we can't actually destroy our soul, but we can destroy this particular life and we can destroy this body. And people do it every day and are doing it right now. And through suicide, through addiction, through, of course, obviously unhealthy lifestyle, but most important, but all of those things come from unhealthy thinking. And someone might not be, perchance, doing any particularly unhealthy behaviors, but if you have a very healthy lifestyle and you exercise a lot and you eat well and you meditate, but yet you also have this inner franticness, that's going to lead to dis-ease, which meaning lack of ease, which leads to disease and illness. It begins and ends with our thoughts, dear friends. That's one of the essential things that Bruno Groening taught. So we have to watch our thoughts like our life depends on it, because according to Bruno Groening, it does. It absolutely does. And I had a very profound experience of this just yesterday. So I'm washing the dishes, and all of a sudden I just have this thought, I become aware of this thought, like, oh, I'll just call it Joe. Like, oh, Joe hasn't returned my email. I just keep washing the dishes, and I'm like, well, I had to write Joe because I wrote Jane and she didn't respond, and it's been a month. So I wrote to Joe, her supervisor. This is someone I have some business, a company I have some business dealings with. So I just keep washing the dishes, and I'm like, that's the second time this has happened. Jane is not very reliable. Uh-oh. And then the trouble began. Thought after thought. Like, I can't believe it. And why hasn't she good customer service. And of course, Joe isn't going to write me back. So I'm going to have to write Joe's supervisor, like just thought after thought after thought. And and I started to feel really yucky. And then I caught it. I was like, no. I recognized all of this was obviously negative thinking. I stopped, and then I had to laugh because I was getting upset about an event that didn't happen. I was imagining that Joe, so I wrote an email to Jane a month ago, didn't hear back. About 5 days ago, I wrote to Joe, Jane's supervisor. I haven't heard back yet. Those are facts. But the negative thinking twists facts and I was literally living in an unreal world where Joe hadn't written me, and so I was going to have to write Joe's supervisor, and And that's how evil works. When I first started to understand evil, I thought evil, would be like the devil whispering, kill yourself, or, get a hold of a nuclear bomb and destroy the world, like that evil would speak to us in like these big, like go on a mass, you know, go shoot a bunch of people. um, I'm laughing at my own images. I'm not laughing at those specific thoughts that evil does send to people, and people do believe them. But evil starts out very small. Just like there I am washing the dishes. I think about a fact. I think about another fact. Then I judge a person, and that opens the door for evil to start pouring in. And then it stresses out our body. And what would have happened if I hadn't caught it? If I hadn't caught the negative thoughts, then I would have maybe written a nasty email to Joe. And then Joe would be upset, and he'd, express that upset maybe to Jane, probably to me. And next thing you know, we have an unfun world. So evil is just that which is disharmony. And it doesn't start with, here's the plan for you to destroy the world. That's evil's end game, is to destroy this earth, according to Bruno Groening. It starts off small, and it weasels its way in, and it gets a hold of us, and it just creates lack of peace, and it gets us behaving unwell, first in small ways. Bruno Groening said evil is like a seed that just grows and grows and grows, and you just have to get it all out. And so all of this was just imagined. And that's how evil operates, is it lies and it twists and it distorts. Another really vivid example of it for me was I was out riding my bike, and just all of a sudden I started to think about a local political situation. And I started to get angry at the city council, and I started to have images of like, well, I'm going to go in my city council. You can actually get up and speak and address the council. Like, I'm going to go and I'm going to tell them my thoughts. Like, it really got me. And within, I was riding my bike, but inwardly I was really stirred up. And then I stopped. I was like, no, okay, this is, it went on for maybe a minute. And then, but there was still some anger and resentment in me. And then a car sort of pulled a little bit past, I'm biking along, and this car pulls and it stops, but it stops in a way where I feel a little bit of fear. Like I was like, is this car going to stop? And because that stirred up feeling was in me, I basically looked at the driver and I went like this. Like I scowled at them. And then I realized, I was like, oh, that's how evil operates. It gets us stirred up. It gets us out of peace. And then it gets us doing things. Then it gets us to express that evilness. If I had been more stirred up, I might have looked at the driver and been like, I might have said something mean. That's how evil works. It starts with these little thoughts that stir us up and then get us behaving in yucky ways, which then just creates more yuck, and it just multiplies itself, not just for us, but for other people. So in that instance, I actually transmitted a little evil to that person. I looked at them in an unkind way. And this goes back to what Bruno Groening said, that, let's see, I've got it right here. Man acts according to his will. As his will, so his thought. The thought moves man to deed. So, if our will isn't strongly focused on God, that opens the door for evil to send us negative thoughts. And then those negative thoughts lead us to behave in evil ways. So watch out for those thoughts, friends, and keep our moment by moment. We're training ourselves to want God and to engage our will, our intention to stay connected to God. That's where our safety lies.